fucking stupid! Alors, ma tactique préférée, la chasse!
But I...
Yeah. When we were dancing together, like, you came onto me like a poo.
Hey, stop! I didn't mean to hurt you, just stress. I lashed out without thinking. Give me your fucking phone! I'm calling the chopper, I don't want to hear another word about it. We plan to pick up at 2:30 p.m.? Yeah, as soon as possible. He'll be there in 30 minutes, okay?
The film opens with a wide shot of a vast desert landscape, where rugged, towering rock formations dominate the terrain, an environment suited to desert predators. A helicopter then arrives, carrying Richard and his girlfriend Jennifer to his remote home in the desert. Richard and Jennifer plan to spend time together before his annual hunting trip with friends. Before leaving, the pilot gives Richard peyote for him and his guests. After arriving, Richard reunites with Jennifer, and their interaction leads to an intimate encounter. Later, Richard receives a call from his wife, revealing he has a family with children. She assumes he is on his usual hunting trip. The next morning, Jennifer enters the kitchen to get a glass of water. Jennifer is startled when Richard's friends arrive a day earlier than expected for their hunting trip. Richard is annoyed, having intended to keep his relationship with her private, but allows them to stay. The two men are introduced as Stan and Dimitri. During introductions, Stan shows a clear interest in Jennifer. That evening, the group relaxes by the pool, taking in the desert surroundings. Dimitri observes the area with binoculars before turning his attention to the gift the pilot gave Richard. Richard explains that the substance is a potent hallucinogenic drug with strong effects even in small amounts. He adds that an overdose can cause extreme reactions, citing a case in which a man reportedly mutilated himself without feeling pain. To avoid potential conflict, Richard asks Jennifer to hide the drug. Instead, she conceals it in her necklace. She then goes outside and dances, drawing the attention of the men. As the night continues, Jennifer entertains the group with a dance, with Stan showing the most interest and briefly joining her. The next morning, Jennifer wakes up and is invited by Stan to have breakfast. With Richard away, Stan approaches Jennifer, but she shows no interest and retreats to her room. He follows her and continues his advances despite her refusal. Stan questions Jennifer about her change in behavior, but she states he is not her type. He reacts with resentment while continuing to pursue her. Jennifer is overpowered and unable to resist the assault. Dimitri arrives, observes without intervening, and chooses to leave the situation, turning up the television to mask the noise. Hours later, Richard returns and notices tension between his friends. Stan mentions an issue with Jennifer without details. Jennifer asks Richard to call a helicopter so she can leave immediately. Realizing what occurred, Richard confronts his friends. He later tells Jennifer they will apologize and offers her money to put the incident behind her. Jennifer threatens to expose her affair with Richard if a helicopter is not arranged. His reaction frightens her, and she flees.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Richard and his friends pursue her until she is cornered at a cliff. Richard then attempts to calm her and contacts the pilot to arrange her departure. After Jennifer calms down, Richard suddenly pushes her off the cliff and she is impaled during the fall. Stan and Dimitri react with shock. Richard argues that letting her live would risk prison and expose his affair. The three then return to the house to collect their hunting equipment. The men plan to return later to conceal the crime and continue their hunting trip. Meanwhile, Jennifer survives despite being impaled, as her vital organs were not hit. Trapped, she uses a lighter to burn the shrub holding her, freeing herself, though the branch remains lodged in her body. At the same time, Richard and his friends head back to dispose of her body. Jennifer hears the men approaching and manages to hide despite her injury. When Richard and his friends arrive and find her gone, they are shocked and assume she was either rescued or escaped. The men search for a way down the cliff to find Jennifer. After they leave, she moves from her hiding place. The difficult terrain delays their search until nightfall, and they are left uncertain about how she disappeared. The men find a trail of Jennifer's blood and follow it until it ends at a lake. With no further signs, they split up to continue the search, while Stan remains at the car. Despite heavy blood loss, Jennifer continues to flee. Hearing a vehicle approaching, she hides underwater and holds her breath. Dimitri arrives on a quad bike, finds no trace of her, and leaves. After reaching the shore, Jennifer sees Dimitri nearby and notices his rifle beside his vehicle. She attempts to use it but discovers it is unloaded, realizing he had set a trap to lure her. Dimitri contacts his friends and prepares to capture Jennifer, but she takes a knife from him and kills him. She leaves his body in the lake, takes his equipment, and continues her escape. Her escape is cut short when her vehicle runs out of fuel, forcing her to continue on foot with the branch still lodged in her body. She finds a cave and rests briefly, but her injuries remain severe and untreated. Jennifer notices the necklace and recalls the drugs hidden inside it. Remembering their effects, she takes them despite the taste, seeking relief. Soon after, she begins to feel unusual physical changes. The hallucinogenic effects take hold, causing Jennifer to experience voices and hallucinations. In a semi-conscious state, she begins preparing an emergency treatment for her wound, numbed to the pain. Jennifer cuts into her abdomen and removes the branch, then cauterizes the wound with a heated can. The next day, Stan is still asleep in the Jeep, while Richard, unable to find her, returns with game and disposes of a carcass nearby. The men remain unaware of Dimitri's death until Stan discovers his body at the lake. While Richard reacts with anger, Stan suppresses his emotions and concludes that Jennifer is responsible. They dispose of Dimitri's body in the lake. Richard blames Stan for not accompanying him earlier, and they leave to continue searching for Jennifer. Meanwhile, Jennifer recovers from her injuries, takes the metal piece from the can used to treat her wound, arms herself with a rifle, and leaves the cave. The events are revealed to be a drug-induced nightmare. After regaining consciousness, Jennifer resolves to continue, shifting her goal from escape to revenge and adopting a more determined mindset. Armed with a shotgun, Jennifer sets out to track Richard and Stan. They find the quad bike she used and split up to search, with Richard leaving first while Stan pauses to check his injured nose. Stan's reflection in a mirror reveals his location to Jennifer. She follows him despite her injuries, while his vehicle begins to run low on fuel. Jennifer takes a shot at Stan with a scoped weapon, grazing his shoulder. He escapes from view, and she follows his blood trail until it disappears, finding one of his shoes. Meanwhile, Stan bandages his wound and hides nearby, preparing to ambush her. Stan's injured shoulder affects his aim, and his shot misses, grazing Jennifer's ear. She flees while he continues firing and uses glass fragments to slow him. The shards injure Stan's feet, forcing him to stop and remove them. Unable to run, he returns to the car to continue the pursuit. Despite a severe leg injury, Stan continues driving. Jennifer kills him and then hears Richard over the walkie-talkie, which reinforces her resolve. Meanwhile, Richard remains frustrated by his inability to find her. Stan fails to reach the meeting point and does not respond to Richard's calls. Concluding that he may be dead, Richard returns home and arranges a helicopter pickup to leave the desert. As he prepares to depart, he hears a suspicious noise and goes to investigate. Richard suspects Jennifer has returned to kill him, but finds nothing during his search. Moments later, a sound from the television reveals her presence, and he realizes she has him in her sights with a shotgun. Jennifer shoots Richard in the stomach, triggering a firefight. He retreats while she pursues him, but his blood trail reveals his position and prevents an ambush. As he tries to slow the bleeding, she tracks him down and continues the chase, briefly slipping on the blood. Richard exploits Jennifer's moment of weakness and attacks, but she counters by targeting his gunshot wound and delivers a fatal shot. With his death, the three men are killed and her revenge is complete. Covered in blood, she steps outside, then pauses as she hears a helicopter approaching.